Hello, hello. Hey, hi everyone. Hello, Gracie. What level is this? Is actually for upper primary level to this is for upper primary level from P5s and P6s can actually do this. But actually for P3 and P4s, right, it's good to let them expose to some of these MCQ practices. Okay, so yes, this is actually for primary level. Okay, just mainly from upper primary onwards, right? So actually P3s are able to start practicing their MCQs for this, and they can be reused, right, every year, because MCQ is all about practice. Yes. Okay. So if you're actually looking at primary revision papers, right, we actually have them in our link in bio. You can just head to our Writers at Work TikTok account and you can go to our link in bio and browse our e-shop. Okay, we actually have a lot of products over there for you to look at. Right, so over here, let's take a look at this together. Okay, so I'll be going through this practice together with you and let's try it out. Okay, so question number one. Right, unafraid blank snakes, Jenny stretched out her hand to touch the yellow-bellied python. Okay, so for this question, it will be on prepositions. Okay, it will be on prepositions. So what would the answer be? Okay, what would the answer be? Okay, so since we are waiting for more people to join us, we'll just explain the first question together really soon. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome. Hi KNAA. Right, so based on this first question together, we are actually doing grammar and vocabulary practice today. So they'll all be MCQs and filling in the blanks together. Okay, so this is just a revision paper practice. Able to share what's the new PSLE format? KNAA, what do you mean by that? Like, as in our new PSLE format mostly ranges around many different segments. Okay, so you can actually check out our channel and our account for more information, because we actually do have videos on those comparison between the old and the new format. So feel free to go and scroll around our TikTok or our Instagram to look at the new and old formats of PSLE. Okay, and there would be videos to guide you through how it is. Yes. Okay, thank you. Alright, so over here, right? Prepositions. So, snakes, unafraid, blank snakes, right? So usually after the words of feeling, okay, or fear or awareness or emotions, right? Usually they will be followed by the word of. Okay? Usually they will be followed by the word of. So example is unafraid of, I am proud of you. Okay, I am tired of waiting. Okay, so on and so forth. Right, so all of these over here. So all of these things over here are actually related to emotions. Right, emotions or certainty or fear, awareness, all of these are followed by the word of. Okay, so you see a trend over here. That's when we know when to use this preposition. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Right, Sam told his mother, "Don't worry, mum. The holiday homework that blank assigned by the teacher will be completed before I go to the P5 camp." Okay, so the holiday homework that blank assigned, okay, assigned by the teacher, okay, assigned by the teacher will be completed before I go for the P5 camp. So for this question, right, holiday homework. The holiday homework, okay, therefore we know that it is in past tense since the teacher assigned it. We can cancel out R, okay, that had been assigned. So had is wrong as well, because for that to make sense, we need an additional word in the sentence over here. And that were or was assigned. Okay, homework, right? For homework wise, we would then use was. Okay, was is the answer. So the answer is option number 2. Moving on to question number 3, blank leaving the house early. Kenny arrived late for the concert. Okay, so we need a contrast over here, right? When you leave the house early, you expect to be on time. Okay, expect to be on time. Okay, yes, easy. Hello, easy. Thank you for your answer, right? Despite leaving the house early, right? Even though I left the house early, right? Kenny still arrived late for the concert. Okay, so despite leaving the house early. Okay, question number 4. The cashier will ask you to complete a form blank. You change your mind and ask for a refund for your purchase. Okay, something you change your mind. So this word always replaces the word if, and in a more formal way, more formal tone. Okay, so should you change your mind? Very good. Okay, should you change your mind? Dion always hands in her work on time. Blank she. Right, she always hands in her work on time. Okay, always. So, this is a little trickier question tag, right? This question tag is, we know that this is a positive, therefore this will have to be negative. So negative over here, right? All the options are negative, so we do not need to eliminate any. However, we need to know that, oh, always hands in her work, it means that she always do hand in her work. Right, so therefore the answer is number 4, doesn't she? Okay, because this is for is, this is for will, and this is for has, and this is for do. Okay, therefore the answer is actually doesn't she. Okay, doesn't she? Okay, question 6 over here. Can you tell me how you went to Universal Studios with blank, please? Mother question. Okay, how you went to Universal Studios and with blank. Okay, with whom, please? Very good. Okay, with whom? We definitely know that it is not where or which because we know that it's a person. Okay, this is a person. Right. Therefore, whose is only used when something belongs to someone, right? Something belongs to someone. Okay, that is only when we use whose, right? Is this for primary schools? Yes, Quakers, this is for primary schools. Okay, this is for primary school students. Okay, usually for students who are preparing for their PSLE and want to drill more practices for grammar and vocabulary. Right. Oh, yeah, secondary too. Okay. Sure, no worries. You can feel free to join and answer questions if you would like, or if you want more resources for secondary school, you can actually head to our link in bio. We actually do have some free resources for you to browse through. You didn't pass that well, I see. It's okay, right? English is always about practice, right? So we can always just gain more knowledge on our foundation to build a stronger foundation for our English. Yes, right. Feel free to join the live, right? This is actually for everyone, not just primary, even though it's targeted at primary students who want to revise for their grammar and vocabulary. Okay, so let's look at question 7. Right, when it comes to blank, no one is better than Jamie. Okay, when it comes to something, right? Over here, we know that it's a gerund. Okay, what is a gerund? I will repeat, it's a verb plus ing. Okay, so yes, therefore, when it comes to baking, no one is better than Jamie. Okay, having blank her mother mixed the dough, Sally switched on the oven to heat it up. Okay, having blank her mother. So she switched on the oven. So she has already done this, then she did this, right? Because this is already in past, therefore we know that this is not present or continuous. Okay, so what would the answer be? Number 3. Okay, yes. Okay, having helped her mother, right? We need to know that it's in the past tense. Yes. Okay, yes, Tinker, that is correct. Easy as well. Quakers, yes, no worries. Okay, we are all here to learn together, so take note of this, right? This is in past tense, therefore this will also be in the past tense. Okay, question 9. Neither the boys nor their mother blank keen to go to the theme park during the upcoming holidays. Okay, during the upcoming holidays, present or past? Okay, this is present tense. Okay, upcoming present tense. Yes, Tinker, you are right. Okay, must see mother only. Okay, we only look at the second subject. Okay, second subject. Okay, which is why the answer is, okay, the answer for question number 9 will be 1. Okay, is keen. Okay, because mother is singular and is in present tense. Okay, so this is singular plus present tense. Therefore, it will only be is. Okay, is. So yes, nay, that is correct, right? Future. Okay, so moving on to question number 10. Rarely blank we find such dull-colored poisonous plants, Professor Heng declared in delight. Okay, rarely blank we find. Okay, find means it is in present tense, right? Rarely blank we find. Okay, question 10. Okay, question number 10. Okay, Quaker's answer is rarely did we find. For did, this is in past tense. Okay, we use did for past tense. So you want to try again, right? So this will be wrong because it's neither past nor continuous. So yes, do is correct. Okay, rarely do we find. Okay, rarely do we find. Do is in present. Okay, and why is it not does? Okay, why is it not does? Because of we. We is plural. Okay, yes. Can. So now we are at grammar close. Okay, grammar close. So let's look at this together. Right. Did you know that 100,000 flights operate daily, contributing to approximately 4% of greenhouse gas produced annually? There have been year-on-year increases, and the percentage is projected to triple blank the year 2050. Okay, projected, right? This means predicted. Okay. Okay, I estimate it to triple by, yes. Okay, by the year 2050. Okay, by the year 2050. Okay, question 12. If sustainable solutions blank not implemented, experts predict that this rise blank persists. Okay, so sustainable solutions, this is plural. Okay, we know that this is plural, therefore this has to be if sustainable solutions were not implemented or are not implemented. Okay, if, right, if is only just a prediction, so it hasn't happened yet. Okay, therefore we will use present tense. Okay, so are not implemented. Okay, the answer is actually present tense. Okay, are. So nay is correct. Okay, Quakers, no worries, right? We can try. As you do more practice, this will actually help you gain more confidence in your future answers, and you can actually start realizing the trends and how you can spot for these grammar mistakes, right? So let's look at question 13. Experts predict that this rise blank persists. Okay, predict. Okay, predict is only a guess. Okay, this is only a guess. It may not happen, it may happen, right? So for question 13, what is the answer? Okay, I actually gave you the answer already. You should get a grammar book. Quakers, it's okay. You can just join our live session. I believe it will help you at least by 1% of improvement for your grammar if you join our live sessions every day. Okay? And thank you, Nay, for following us. Okay, Tian. Okay, is that how I pronounce the name? Yes, may persist is correct. Okay, may means there's a possibility. Okay, possibility. There's a possibility that it may persist. Ines Fitzgerald, a UK runner, declined participating in the Australian race due to environmental concerns. Blank instead, she embarked on a 1,600 kilometers train journey, blank England to Italy. Okay, so blank instead. Okay, question 14. Right, question 14. Blank instead. C, yes, and instead. Very good. Okay, and instead, she embarked on a 1,600 kilometer train journey, blank England to Italy. Okay, blank a place to another, right? We know that it is from. Hello, fish and chips, right? Yes, from, right? F, from. Her choice to do so brings attention to the environmental impact caused by flights despite ongoing global efforts. Blank reduce emissions. Efforts, something reduce emissions, right? So this is when we use a word, right? So what would the answer be? Yes, key to reduce emissions. Okay, to reduce emissions. Very good. Okay, global efforts to reduce emissions. While airlines seek eco-friendly solutions, finding blank most suitable solution remains challenging. Okay, finding something. Okay, finding the most suitable. Yes. Okay, the most suitable. Why is it the and not a, right? Because this is a specific solution. Only got one. We are only looking at one solution, which is the most best, right? The best solution. Okay, which is why the answer is the. Yes. Okay, so for question 18, as our planet blank limited resources. Okay, as our planet blank limited resources. Okay, our planet. Right, our planet, this is singular. Okay, let me give you a hint, this is singular. Okay, therefore the answer is G. Yes, nay is correct. Bien as well, right? G, has limited resources. Okay, has limited resources. When planning your next trip, blank family or friends. Okay, I've seen answers for this already. Okay, bye-bye Quakers. Right, so when planning your next trip, blank family or friends. Right, yes, with family or friends. Okay, with family or friends. Experts suggest using trains, buses, or bicycles. Blank alternatives reduce the impact. Okay, alternatives, this is also plural, take note. Okay, this is also plural. Okay, so what alternatives? These, yes, okay, these alternatives, very good. Reduce the impact of air travel on environment, opting for eco-friendly choices to help reduce our environmental impact, supporting conservation efforts positively. Okay, so now let's move on to the vocabulary practice. Okay, now we are at vocabulary. Okay, 21. The National Library has a large collection of rare books that are blank to members with paid subscription. Okay, something to members with paid subscription. Okay, library, right? Library. You know that this is a library. So what is the answer for question number 21? Okay, so let me explain the options over here. Obtainable means able to get. Able to get. Accessible is to gain access. Okay, applicable is can be applied. Okay, and reachable, you can reach it. Okay, so therefore the answer for question 21 is actually 2, right? Accessible, they can gain access. Okay, they can gain access. So for question 21, the answer is actually number 2, right? It's accessible to members with paid subscription. Okay, accessible. Question 22, right? Lakeside Park has a and blank environment suitable for anyone looking for a quiet spot to relax after a hard day's work. Okay, so Lakeside Park has a and blank environment, right? This describes the environment. So what is the answer for this? Okay, yes, the answer is actually number... Oh, are you sure it's number 4? Okay, so take note that this is a keyword, right? A quiet spot. Okay, a quiet spot. Okay, amiable actually means to be friendly. Okay, amiable is friendly. Okay, so 1, gentle environment. This is like guessing all the options already. Wow, legit listing out all the options over here. Right. Yes, okay, one of your answer is actually correct, right? Do you have any idea which is the correct answer? Okay, lenient means to be more forgiving. Okay, and gentle means to be soft. Okay, to be more soft and more tender. Right, therefore the answer is tranquil, right? Peaceful, more serene. Okay, peaceful and more serene. Therefore the answer is number 3. Yes, okay, peaceful. Okay, question 23. Our holiday plans in Penang were blanked by the unexpected downpours and flash floods. We were at a loss on our next move. Okay, were blanked by the unexpected downpours. Okay, our holiday plans in Penang were blanked by the unexpected downpours. Okay, question 23. Okay, the answer is definitely not defeated. Yes, okay, JS10, that is correct. Okay, they were thwarted. Okay, changed by these. We were at a loss on our next move, right? An unexpected change. Okay, this is definitely not frustrated because this is a feeling, right? This is how we would feel. Okay, this is a feeling or emotion. Okay, prevented is usually prevented by this. However, this means to stop something before it happened. Okay, therefore the answer is only applicable if it's number 2, right? Thwarted. Okay, question 24. This packing list might not be complete. It was blank drawn up due to a lack of time. Okay, lack of time means that not enough time, right? Not enough time. So they drew it up really quickly. Okay, so what is an answer that can be... Okay, sorry. Yes, so what is an answer that is suitable for question 24? Okay, question 24. Right, the answer is critically drawn up. This is a key point, right? Take note, lack of time. Critically means that it is very important. However, I'm looking for a word that actually represents very quickly. Okay, severe means it's very serious. Serious or extreme. Okay, therefore the answer for question 24 is actually 1. Yes. Okay, hastily drawn up. Okay, very quickly. Okay, hastily, very quickly. Hasty is base form. Yes, okay, hastily. So this is HASTILY, Right, this is the adverb. Okay, why 1? Yes, good question, right? Because of a lack of time. This is an important keyword in the sentence. It means that there is not enough time already, which is why they had to draw up the packing list very quickly. Okay, very quickly. Okay, so this is an important keyword that we should not overlook. Okay, therefore, that the answer can only be number 1. Okay, critically would be a more critical moment, right? He was injured severely, right? Very heavily injured, very serious injury. That is when we use for, right? So it's not number 4. And for number 3, right? It's a critical time, right? It's a critical moment. Okay, very critical, essential, right? Very important. Yes, learning something new today. Thank you for saying that, right? We definitely are able to learn something new every day, even though you don't expect it. But yes, so for this case, hastily actually means very quickly. Okay, which is why the answer is number 1. Okay, can I move on to question 25? Right, this is a question regarding idioms. Okay, idioms. So we may have lost to the other school in the first round, but there's a chance we might still make it to the finals. Let's blank and stay in the game. Okay, he exclaimed. So he's actually giving an encouragement. Okay, he's actually giving an encouragement. Okay, so let's pull up our socks. Okay, so I have a few answers. Tighten our belts, pull up our socks. Right, question 25. Yes, Miao Kuna is correct. Okay, so the answer is actually number 2. Okay, pull up our socks. This means to buck up. Okay, and do better. Try to do better. Okay, but what about tighten our belts? What does tighten our belt means? Okay, tighten our belts actually have a different meaning, right? Even though it sounds correct, however, to tighten one's belt, it means to cut down on spendings. Okay, cut down on your spendings. Okay, save money. Okay, that is what tighten our belts mean. Okay, so please do not misunderstand this. Okay, so the answer is actually number 2. Okay, so for number 3, throw in the towel. This actually means to surrender or give up. Okay, so please do not say that, oh, let's throw in our towel for this question, because he's actually encouraging his team to do better. And burn a hole in our pockets. For this is a quite literal meaning, right? Burn a hole in our pocket. Okay, does anyone know how to explain this? Right, when you burn a hole in your pocket, it means to spend money very generously and quickly. Okay, so this is what burn a hole in our pocket mean. Okay, which is why I see the confusion between 1 and 2. However, for 1, the answer is actually for saving money, cutting down on expenses. That's why the answer is number 2. Okay, so we are back to this practice over here, right? The Everyday Museum is a public art initiative in which artists get to bring art to the community by producing artworks that are displayed in public. There's one such project at Tanjong Pagar. By blank situating, right? So we are actually looking at the synonyms for the word over here. Okay, so for question 26, the word that we are looking for a synonym is situating the artworks in this housing estate, right? Art is brought to the everyday lives of residents and visitors. One such artwork, Little Island, spans 2 HDB blocks. It features a landmass surrounded by water, offering a sense of spaciousness to its viewers. Amid the hustle and bustle of city life, Little Islands beckons its viewers to stay a little longer. Other usual representations of art forms include anime murals painted on the few shop houses that provide viewers a whimsical take on the old public housing estate. This infusion of art into the community is indeed seamlessly done. Viewers can spend an entire day exploring and admiring the artworks around the estate in a familiar comfort, an experience very much different from the standard museum visits. Okay, so for this question, right, by situating the artworks in this housing estate, okay, it means that we are actually putting the artwork there, right? So what is the word that is the most similar meaning to situating? Okay, anyone have any idea what the answer will be for question number 26? Okay, by situating. So situating, right, what do you think the answer will be for situating? Okay, so the answer is actually number 2, right, by placing, right? Placing the artworks in this housing estate, art is brought to the everyday lives of residents and visitors. Okay, spans 2 HDB blocks. Okay, spans. Okay, when the answer is actually when the word we are looking at is spans 2 HDB blocks, it means that it spans across, right? There's one block over here, another block, then this is the artwork. Okay, as long as, right? So what would the answer be for spans, right, if the word is spans? Okay, Meow Kuna says 4, extends across, right? That is correct, okay? Extends across 2 HDB blocks, okay? The artworks extends across these 2 blocks over here. Okay, next one, question 28. Beckons its viewers to stay a while longer. Okay, beckons. Okay, for this type of questions, if you're unsure of what these words mean, you can actually look at all the rest of the sentence for some of the context. Okay, so for beckons, right, what would the answer be? Okay, beckons its viewers to stay a little while longer. Okay, for question 28, beckons its viewers to stay a little while longer. Yes, okay, attracts its viewers, very good. Okay, attracts. Question 29. Other visual representations of art forms include anime murals painted on a few shop houses. Okay, representations. Okay, representations. Other visual representations. Okay, visual representations. Question 29. 2. Yes, actually, it is only visual displays, right? This is the most nearest meaning to the word representation, because the rest of them, if you do elimination, right, hallucination is definitely wrong, because hallucination is more imaginary. Okay, imaginary, and it's only what happens in one's human mind. Okay, and symptoms, this is not really correct. Okay, it does symbolize something, but it's not symptoms of something, so it cannot be a visual symptom. Okay, parades is definitely wrong, so the answer can only be displays. Okay, lastly for question 30, right, this infusion of art into the community is indeed seamlessly done. Okay, infusion, so what does infusion mean? Okay, infusion of art. Okay, infusion actually comes from the word infuse. Okay, so this addition, right? Question 30. Yes, this addition of art. Okay, very well done. Okay, addition is correct. Why the questionable face, right? You don't need to be so worried. Okay, you need to have confidence in your own answer. Okay, you actually got all of these questions correct. Right, okay, good job for that. Okay, and we can move on to the next grammar practice over here. Okay, let's go on to our next grammar practice. So, Brian, together with his classmates, blank prepared for Mr. Goh's pop quiz yesterday. We look at this question, we see these 2 commas, we immediately know that this is the additional information. Distractor. Okay, this is the distractor. Yes, very good, Meowkuna. Additional information. Okay, so since we know that this is the additional information, we only focus on Brian. Brian is one person, okay, and this is yesterday. Singular and past tense. Okay, singular and past tense, we immediately know our answer. Okay, actually sometimes grammar is like a math equation, right? Once you see few things, important keywords to take note of, you will immediately know the answer. Okay, and therefore 3 is correct. Okay, was. Very easy. Okay, so with more practice, you actually learn how to spot all of these grammar rules and keywords for you to answer these MCQs. Okay, question 2. All the students felt discouraged blank their school badminton teams lost to their rivals. Okay, discouraged blank the team's loss. Okay, discouraged blank the team's loss. Yes, okay, discouraged by the team's loss is correct. Okay, number 3 is correct. So, because they were discouraged by their team, so this means that this is the cause of their discourage. Therefore, the answer is number 3. Okay, are we looking at all? What do you mean by that? Oh, looking for keywords, is it? Okay, sometimes these sentences come to you naturally, right? It feels like, oh, it sounds correct when I say by, so therefore the answer is by. However, we are not sure why we use this word, right? So actually this derives from this phrase, this special term called prepositions. Okay, prepositions. So they actually consist of all of these words that come from a cause or an effect or when we use it, right? Usually some of them are used with emotions, some of them are used with awareness. Okay, so for this case, by is a cause. Okay, therefore it is by. Question number 3. Wen Ling blank her grandmother fortnightly as she wants to spend time with her. Okay, what is fortnightly? Okay, we always learn this, right? What is fortnightly? This is like primary what? Oh, Yang Kuna, this is just for upper primary. So all of upper primary students are welcome. Right? 2 weeks, very good. Okay, 2 weeks. 2 weekly, right? Fortnightly. So this means it means that it is still ongoing every 2 weeks. Right? And it's Wen Ling, one person. Okay? One person. So since Wen Ling is one person, therefore what would the answer be? One person, ongoing is present. Okay, present tense is still ongoing. So this means it is present tense. Okay, let me just shift this here. Present. Okay, present tense. So therefore the answer is number 2. Very good. Okay, Milkuna, may I ask what level you are in? Right, just a curious gauge for this paper. Right, since you're asking for which level. So just want to know which level you are in so that I can help with the explanations. You are in P6. Oh, very good. Okay, means this is helpful for your PSLE preparation. Right, this is actually from top school prelim papers. Okay, so it's actually good for you to recap with us. Yeah. Okay, these MCQ questions are actually made similarly to all the PSLE questions that will come out. So just take note of that, right? So these questions have a possibility of being tested during your PSLE. Okay, so it's important to just recap on some of the grammar rules, right, and learn something on TikTok. Okay, so let's look at question number 4. They went to the park earlier today. Okay, so this is actually a question tag. Question tag question, right? They went to the park. Went as in they go, but it's in past tense. Okay, because it's earlier today. So over here, this is a positive, therefore this has to be negative. So this is wrong for question number 4. It is definitely not option 1 nor option 2 because they are both in the positive form, right? So we only know that we have to choose between 3 and 4. Okay, so is it didn't or haven't? Okay, is it 3 or 4? Right, your answer is number 3. Yes, very good. Okay, 3 is correct. Okay, so why is it didn't? Right, this means that they did go to the park today. Okay, they did go to the park. However, means that they have gone to the park. But in this case, they already assume, right? It is already a fixed claim. Okay, therefore we have to say they did go. Okay, moving on to question 5. You blank have completed the assignment by now. It was due yesterday. Madam Go cheated Jack. Okay, this means scolded. Okay, just in case you are not sure of what this means. Hello, Moonlight. Okay, welcome back. Right. So, number 3. You would have completed by now. Question number 5. It gives us a bit of space to think about whether the answer is 3 or 4. Starlight Whisper. Oh my god, long time no see. Right, welcome back. Hello, everyone. Yes, key. So the answer is actually number 4. You should have completed by now, right? This means that I expected already. I expected you to have done it. Okay, therefore it is not would, right? Would mean that, oh, you would have completed it by now if you didn't go and play, right? It's a prediction, like, oh, if you actually did it. Okay, therefore the answer is you should have completed it by now. I expected you to have completed this. Okay, that is why the tone is in this way. Okay, question number 6. We don't have blank time to pack for the road trip. We better get started on it, exclaimed Andy's mother. Okay, time, countable, uncountable. Okay, time, uncountable, right? Okay, we only can count minutes and hours, but we can't really count time. Therefore, this is uncountable. Okay, we only can count the minutes and hours. We cannot count the time. Okay, so we don't have much time. Very straightforward answer. Okay. Okay, let me just cross this out. Please pick up after blank, Mrs. Raju reminded her class before they left the campsite. This is a direct speech, right? So she's actually telling her class directly in the speech form. Therefore, Mrs. Raju cannot tell herself to pick up after myself. Quite funny. Okay? Pick up after ourselves. She is not involved. She only remind her class, right? So, please pick up after yourselves, okay? Because it's a direct speech, so she is actually talking to her class. Very good. Okay, it's not themselves. Okay, question number 8. Blank, she spent countless hours preparing for her presentation. She still felt nervous. Okay? So, she already spent this amount of time preparing, but then she still feel like, oh, I'm still very nervous. So there's a slight contrast because I expect you to actually feel more confident, right? So the answer is though, yes. Though she spent countless hours. Very good. Question number 9. The committee, blank all members are all students, organize the charity event. Okay, committee, right? Committee. This is actually just a club, a group. Okay, so they are not a person. This is not a person. They just consist of people. Therefore, it cannot be who or whose. Okay, because committee is not a person. It's a group of people, right? If a committee can be replaced by a club, the class, or something else. So you need to know that this is actually just a group, a category. Okay, therefore the answer is, okay, what is the answer for question number 9? Okay, 433. Noun something now. Okay, I believe that some of you are actually confused with the noun whom and noun, right? Okay, noun whom and noun. This is actually usually used as a person, whom, and person. However, in this case, right, members are all students. Yes, committee is actually not a person. Okay, it's not a person. Okay, this is actually a group. Therefore, I am referring to the community. To the committee as more of an object, right? Or this club thing. Yes, this makes it a little trickier than usual. So please take note of this. It is not whom, right? The answer is actually which. Okay, the committee which members are all students. Okay. We cannot use whose, as committee is not a person. Whose is only used when it belongs to someone. Okay, belongs to someone. Okay, therefore this is the answer. Yes. Okay, so person, whom, person, take note of this. Right, yes, we usually do it as noun, whom, noun. However, even though this is a noun, we cannot use it as whom because this is not. Okay, question number 10. The twins plan to represent the nation in football since primary 5, announced the commentator. Since primary 5. Okay, it happened since back then and is still ongoing, right? So we know that this is in present perfect. Therefore, present perfect continuous. Yes, have been training. Okay, twins is plural. Okay, twins is plural. Yes, cause 3 is past perfect. Yes, correct. Okay, so the answer is present because represent the nation since primary 5. It is still happening until now, right? It is still ongoing. It didn't stop anytime. Okay. Okay. Do you want to do grammar close or do you want to go on to vocabulary? Okay, let's make a vote over here, right? Would you rather do grammar close first or you want to move on to vocabulary? Okay, I'll give you a choice. Grammar close. Okay, Darren says grammar close. Starlight Whisper says vocab. Okay, and there's I don't know. Okay, now it's one to one vote, right? I'll go with the majority. How about you, Moonlight? Would you prefer to do vocab or grammar close? Okay, grammar. Okay. Sorry, Starlight Whisper we'll get to vocab after grammar close, okay? So let's move on with grammar first. Okay, football, sometimes called soccer, is the world's most popular sport. Played by millions around the world, it is blank game that requires skill and teamwork. Okay, played by millions around the world, it is blank game that requires skill and teamwork. Okay, very good. It is a game. Right, it is a game. Blank the start of a match. Teams line up and the referee blows a whistle to signal the kick-off. Okay, blank the start of a match. Okay, so what would the answer be for the second question? Okay, D. Yes, at the start of the match. Very good. Okay, that's correct. At the start of a match. Teams line up and the referee blows a whistle to signal the kickoff. The aim is to score goals, blank getting the ball into the opponent's team net. Okay? Blank getting. Okay, so what would the answer be? Okay, the purpose, right? We have to do this. So, this is how it's caused by, yes, by getting the ball into the opponent's team net. However, their players' blank role is to defend their goal to prevent opponents from scoring. Do this, then can do that. Okay, yes. Okay, so their players' blank role is to defend their goal, right? So their players, the role belongs to the player, right? This role belongs to the players. Therefore, the answer is whose, as what I have explained earlier on, right? The answer is whose. Players primarily use their feet to move the ball. Blank, they can also use their heads or torsos. Okay, blank, they can also use their heads or torsos. Okay, so players primarily use their feet to move the ball. E. Okay, yes, right. But they can also use their heads or torsos. Coaches strategize and focus on blank players' strengths. Focus on, right, a single each and every, right? So the answer can only be G. Yes, each players. Oh, I actually gave away the answer. Yes, the answer is actually each, right? Every single player's strengths. They often make player substitutions during the game to bring fresh energy and tactics blank the field. Okay, bring something blank the field, a preposition again, right? What would the answer be? Okay, onto the field. Yes, that is correct. Okay, onto the surface, which is the field. The sport is governed by International Football Association. Board blank made a set of rules known as the laws of the game. Okay, this board, right? This is actually a group. Okay, blank made a set of rules. I have explained this earlier on, right? I hope you can get this correct. Okay, which, very good. Okay, so because we know that this is actually not a human. Okay, so which made a set of rules. Okay, this board of people, right? This board is made up of people. Okay, which made up rules. Blank rules ensure fair play and safety for all players. Okay, question 19. Okay, question 19. What is for? Meow-kuna, what is for? Cause plural. And, yes, okay, and. Okay, those rules. Yes, plural, those rules, right? So take note, yes, those is correct. Football is not blank a sport, but also a global event. Okay, no worries for the typo, right? I'm glad you get it correct. So question 20, right? Football is not blank a sport. Okay, not just a sport, not only a sport, correct? Okay, it's not only a sport, right? Therefore, the answer is J. Okay, not only a sport. Okay, let's go on to vocabulary, right? Okay, let's go. Question 21. Mr. Mohan was not wealthy, but he found blank in spending quality time with his family, which mattered more than material things. Okay, so he was not wealthy, but he found blank in spending quality time. He enjoyed it, right? He enjoyed it. He find it happy. He feels glad, right? Question 21. 3. Starlight Whisper says it's number 3. Yes, moonlight. Okay, that is correct. Okay, contentment. Right, he found contentment. Right, he feels satisfied. Okay, even though he is not wealthy, he's satisfied. Oops, spelling error. Satisfied. Okay, in spending quality time. Question 22. My vocab is not that good. It's okay. That's what a lot of primary school students would say. However, as you do more practices, right, you actually become more familiar with different vocabulary words. And remember to just search up the word that you are unsure of and try to form a sentence with it in order to remember it better. Okay? Question 22. Gwen protested blank after being accused of stealing her sister's pocket money. Okay? Gwen protested blank after being accused of stealing her sister's pocket money. Okay, indignantly. Okay, question 22. Yes, I see a lot of indignantly. So, what does indignant mean? Okay, what does indignant mean? Okay, it actually means to be, okay, disbelief, okay? It means to be more angry and annoyed. Okay, it means to be more angry and annoyed, right? Therefore, because you accuse Gwen, even though Gwen didn't steal the money, therefore she feels very annoyed, right? Okay, so yes, nonchalantly means that she didn't care. She doesn't really care. doesn't really care. Okay, this is nonchalant. Okay, this is the nonchalant face. So, energetically, I believe you know the meaning. Hesitantly means to be unsure, right? Unsure, uncertain. Okay, question 23. The once grand mansion now stands blank after years of disrepair and neglect. This is a very important keyword to help us find our answer. Okay, it is definitely not pristine because pristine condition means it's very good condition. Very good and nice and beautiful. Okay, not haunted because they only didn't repair and they neglected it. Okay, so is it dilapidated or picturesque? Okay, I have narrowed it down to 2 options for you. 3, IDK. Yes, actually the answer is number 3, right? Dilapidated. Dilapidated, sorry. Okay, picturesque actually means it looks like it's as beautiful. It's as beautiful as though it came out from a picture. Okay, as beautiful as though it came out from a picture. That is why we say it's picturesque. So when I say that, oh, when I went to Marina Bay Sands, the view was picturesque, right? The view of Singapore from the highest level of Marina Bay Sands was picturesque. Okay, so that's how we describe picturesque as scenery. Okay, the view. Okay, it's very beautiful. Okay, so please do not say that this once grand mansion now stands picturesque after years of disrepair and neglect. Okay, it definitely tells us that it is already in shambles, right? You didn't take care of the mansion, therefore it cannot be a great view. Okay, question 24. Upon seeing a black dog menacingly approaching her, Julie cautiously blank. Okay, this is phrasal verbs. Okay, phrasal verbs. So for phrasal verbs, right? She cautiously backed something. Okay, question 24. Question 24. What would the answer be? 3. Backed away. Correct. Okay, backed away is to move backwards. Okay, move away. Okay, we know that backing up is to actually stand up for someone. Okay, I back my friend up, right? Stand up for someone, or you can actually back up things on a computer, right? Your data, downloading them. Backing out of something is to actually exit a meeting. I backed out from this group discussion because I wasn't feeling well, right? Or something like that. I backing out of somewhere. Okay, I backed out of the competition because I was scared. Okay, that is what we call back out. You exited the place or the event, right? Backing down, we know this very commonly used phrase, right? Never back down, never what? Right, this is very famous on TikTok as what I've been seeing. So therefore, backing down means to actually um move move away from your goal, right? So backing down will be to similarly give up, right? Okay, to surrender. Okay, therefore the answer is number 3. Okay, our last question for today. Right, Nick was awestruck and felt like blank after relocating from his tiny village to the bustling city. Okay, so he was awestruck and it felt like blank. Okay, he relocated from this place to another, so he's not used to it, right? Okay, a fish out of water. Yes. Okay, a fish out of water. Yes, K1 is correct. Okay, it means that when you put a fish out of water, he doesn't feel very. It's in a new environment and it feels like you cannot really survive there because you are very new to the place. So, what is a bull in a china shop? Okay, This means that it is very careless in behavior, right? Okay, why saying that it is a China shop, right? Because, okay, in China shops, people usually, especially for the Westerns, they will refer it to red decorations. Okay, they will refer it to very red decorations. And if you put a bull in front of a red cloth, you know that it will dash towards the red cloth, right? Therefore, if it's in a fully red decorated China shop, you know that how the bull will just crash everywhere. Therefore, it means to be very careless in your behavior. Okay, that is why they use this as an idiom. Okay, so it's definitely wrong because Nick definitely didn't perform very carelessly or do very careless actions. Okay, what is a bear with a sore head then? Okay, does anyone know what is a bear with a sore head? Okay, okay, a bear with a sore head actually means to be in a bad mood. Okay, to be in a bad mood, right? So it means to be a bit grumpy, right? Yes. So sometimes if you see like, oh, when there's a bear with a sore head, it's a bit hard to visualize because personally, rarely you encounter bears, right? Unless you stay in more tropical areas, I believe, right? However, a bear with a sore head means that you behave very grumpily, very bad mood. So how do we use it is that, oh, you are like a bear with a sore head today, right? Are you okay? Right? Means because you behave really grumpily today. It's out of the blue. And elephant in the room. Usually we always like to say, let's address the elephant in the room. So what is the elephant in the room? Okay? This means a major problem. Okay, a major problem or thing that happened, right? But they avoid it. A discussion topic that is usually avoided. So let's say that, oh yeah, moonlight, that's correct, a major problem. So maybe let's say the elephant in the room. If I were to give an example, let's say, oh, maybe Jack didn't do well for his studies, so then the parents started to ask him to address the elephant in the room because he was avoiding this topic, right? He was avoiding that he didn't score very well for his exam. Therefore, they had to address it so that they are able to talk about it. Okay, so therefore 3 and 4 are wrong, and the answer is number 1, fish out of water. Okay, and that will be all for today. Right, thank you for joining our live, and I'll see you all very soon. Okay, bye bye. Thank you so much, Moonlight and Starlight Whisper, as well as Kuna. Yes. Okay, bye. See you soon.